Hello everyone, this is TheSC here. I'm going to be casting another 1 versus 1. This time it is going to be Liquid, TheLittleOne, spawning down in the bottom right, or bottom left side rather, or a Liquid TLO, whatever you want to call him. And his opponent is apparently, again, going to be Jimpo. I do not preview these games at all, and the files that TheLittleOne sent me just had the date that they were played, so I don't even know what the players are before I open them. Which is pretty interesting because the last two games that TheLittleOne played against Jimpo, they ended up being really long macro games and at least about 30 minutes each. So I think that Jimpo is actually a very strong player and he is extremely high ranked on the ladder. I would check everyone's ranking, but my internet has been completely bjorked the last couple of days. So I've been uploading these at a different location when I get the chance. Have been trying to fix the internet, but you know what? That's just kind of how it goes. Not like internet is very important to what I do, you know, having to upload to YouTube or anything. So hopefully my internet will be fixed and I can, you know, continue uploading at my normal pace. So if you have not seen those other games, go check them out. I am going to spoil them, so spoiler alert, before you watch this one, you should go watch the other two games, TheLittleOne versus Jimpo. In one of them, it is a TvT, and in another one, it is a TvZ. So this is going to be the second TvZ. It'd be interesting to see a TvP where TheLittleOne does spawn as Protoss. And a lot of players have asked, is TheLittleOne playing random? As far as I know, he has been playing random quite heavily once again. So we could potentially see him playing Terran, as well as him playing Protoss, which is extremely exciting. But for now, he is going to play Zerg, which was originally his main race, but he does switch around to the different races. So anyways, back to those other two games. Both times, they were an extremely close back-and-forth macro fest, and in the first game, it was pretty epic. That one was the TvT. The second game, Jimpo actually able to make, I would say, an extremely awesome comeback, and he was able to take that game. It was really fun to watch. It all came down to his positioning, and his unit combination was absolutely perfect. So got to hand it to him there. Now the spawning pool location is actually pretty interesting. He's got this at the very tip-top corner. Extremely easy to snipe that. Not quite sure why it's all the way up there. The SCV is going to scout that right away. He will see the timing of the gas, and I believe he would have seen the hatchery as well. Yes, he did scout that before going into the main base. So the TheLittleOne, once again, going to be getting out the hatchery before spawning pool. So different style of macro play. Again, the rush distance is a kind of long on this map, and we haven't seen Jimpo do any sort of early aggression builds before. So I think the TheLittleOne is going to be safe and sound in his little corner down here, and I don't think this SCV is going to have quite what it takes to destroy this building all by himself, no matter how mighty he thinks his drill is. One drone is going to get pulled off the line right here to slap him around a little bit. He's got his little boxing gloves on and is going to be punching at that SCV. Now, two Marines are on the field. I'm not sure if he's going to be aggressive with these or not. He is pushing this drone out of here, and that drone does only have 9 HP, and he'll want to make sure to leave a drone on the high ground, and actually queuing up 3 Marines. So he could be doing a similar build to what we saw in the last game, although I'm not sure what order these games were actually played in. I'm just casting them, randomly grabbing them out of this file. But what we saw last game was Jimpo getting out a Hellion and a bunch of Marines, and he did push out, I think it was with 5 or 6 Marines, reinforcing it a little bit, and he did force TheLittleOne to pull workers off the line. However, the positioning on this map, I think, favors the Zerg player in an attack like that, simply because if the Marines want to get into the main, they have to run up this kind of awkward angle, and they are going to be running over that creep, which on Jungle Basin, they do not have that creep to contend with, so because you can just walk right into the main because of the positioning of that natural. One Marine here getting intercepted there, so that is going to greatly weaken this army. You can see these Marines are scared and are going to run back home right now. This Hellion has spawned. However, losing one Marine does weaken that army a great deal, because if they get a nice little surround with those Zerglings, then this army will die a little bit quicker. Now the Hellion is out. I don't think those Zerglings did any damage to it. Actually, they did get one hit off, which that is actually a pretty big deal. There is no spine crawler on the way. All the TheLittleOne is going to rely on is going to be the Zerglings. Is this creep tumor going to go down? Yes, it will. That's 25 energy wasted on that queen. That is a fairly big deal, as you want to keep those creep tumors alive. And this queen is down here taking a lot of damage. TheLittleOne needs to back her up, but no, she is actually going to survive, it looks like here. And there we go, getting us around on these units, going to kill off every single Marine. The Hellion could escape if he decides to. However, he is going to micro it just a little bit, 25 HP remaining. And if we do look at the units lost tab, this is much different than what we saw in the last game, where the TheLittleOne lost around 400 to 500 minerals of units. This time he only lost 200, so very equal losses here. That Marine getting taken out by one Zergling, and it does look like our Terran player actually going to be behind there. And also what's important when comparing this to the last game is the TheLittleOne did not have to pull off his drones. Sure, he did have to run a queen all the way down there, but that is not nearly as bad as losing a lot of the drones and pulling them off the mineral line. second. Is he making another queen over here? Does he have a queen? He hasn't been able to inject this larva for a little while simply because of the positioning of his queen. Now, he does look like he's getting out a lot of Zerglings. This is going to be really good. This is a great follow-up because Jimpo is forced to try to expand, but he does not have that much to defend it, so SCVs will be pulled off. Now, this is the time that Jimpo is going to be pulling workers off, is to try and defend this, because if the Zerglings do get us around all these SCVs, they will go down extremely quickly. One SCV goes down. The second one is like a miracle child as he was able to survive that. The Hellions now in position to deal with this, although it looks like waiting behind the bushes, he is going to get us around here, and this is something you will not see that often. 2 to 3 Hellions are going to get taken out here as the rest of them do retreat, so the little one being extremely aggressive here and actually continuing the aggressive build by getting a Baneling Nest out as well as a Roach Warren, so sticking with low tier units here, and I believe the Baneling Nest finished. I don't think he canceled it. No, he did not. It is right here, and he is morphing in those Banelings right now. There is 5 Banelings being produced, and some Zerglings trying to do damage here. The Hellion's going to be cleaning them up, although these SCVs are going to be very vulnerable to the Banelings, and the reason I say that is because the Banelings will not be spotted until they are through these bushes. So here they go right now. They are going to try and do as much damage as possible. 2 SCVs getting pulled off to try and intercept those, but the SCVs are going to wisely retreat. They're good response by Jimpo, able to prevent them from dying, although that Baneling going to actually soften up those Hellions, and the 3 Banelings have retreated. The SCV's got to get back to work here. You do know they're going to have an aneurysm, though, being so stressed out. Here come the Banelings right now, and able to do a lot of damage there, killing about half those SCVs right there. This expansion is not saturated hardly at all. This SCV is like, okay, man, I know there's something going on over here. Oh, eats a Baneling right there. He does survive, and he's going to be extremely nervous watching this Baneling being produced. This SCV is stressed out. Not only did 2 Zerglings almost kill him, but a Baneling also blew up on top of him. And the SCV is really not getting back to work here. There are 5 idle SCVs. Jimpo, and he's basically scraping all of his units together. He does have his static defense set up. However, he was forced to put 2 supply depots here, and this is a pretty big deal because if you look at his supply, he's already at 52, or he's only at 52 out of 78, and so that is, the supply depots are doing nothing really except for making a wall in, and that is also extremely vulnerable to Banelings should the little one decide to go that route. Now, 1 Baneling over here going to try and soften these up. Don't think it's going to be enough there as the Hellions were able to kill that. We did see 1 Overlord go down, so Jimpo able to do that, but since he has spent 200 minerals on bunkers, 200 minerals on these supply depots, and plus losing all the SCVs at this location, he is going to be in dire straits if the little one is able to follow this up. Now, I do have to mention the little one is following this up with low tech units, and so he does have roaches on the field, which he is currently using to destroy these rocks. However, he is following it up with more roaches, so he's looking to do as much damage up front as possible. A little bit of a risky maneuver, but he is ahead. If we look at the units lost tab, 1,025 lost for the little one. However, he was able to kill a lot of SCVs. The only thing he was really losing was Banelings, and Banelings do add to the units lost tab, so he wasn't really losing as many as he was blowing up the economy of Jimpo. So if Jimpo, he's probably going to have to turtle here for a little bit. You can see him getting out an engineering bay right now, even going to be getting out an armory, which we did see him have an upgrade advantage in the last game, and he is going to try and do that as well. It does look like, though, the little one is going to try to be aggressive here. He has 16 more Zerglings on the way. He is getting the Baneling speed upgrade. However, there are 4 Hellions right here. This location not actually vulnerable, though. Look at this. He has the Banelings actually positioned right on this line of sight, the grass right here, and so they could blow up all these Hellions if he's not careful, although it does look like Jimpo spotted that and was able to kill out 1 Spinecrawler here, going to defend, and that Baneling was able to soften these up a little bit, intercepting the Hellions right now. They're trying to get out of there, but a little bit of a misclick there is going to cost those Hellions their lives, so 4 Hellions getting taken out. That is not cheap, man. That is 400 minerals just thrown out the window. That is a command center, and so Jimpo did try to do everything in his power to keep himself ahead, but it just was not enough. And I really like that positioning. I haven't actually seen that before with Banelings positioned right here, so that the units are like just walking through these bushes, and then they get blown into outer space. So it does look, though, like the little one in really good shape. 103 supply to the 93 of Jimpo, although we did see Jimpo make a crazy good comeback in the last game. So can he do it again, or is the little one not going to let it slip away? It is important to note that on this map, your third base is a high yield in this, since the little one decided to take this. On Jungle Basin, it is only a normal yield expansion, so the little one's advantage could be slightly more than it was before. It does look like he's going to focus down these supply depots down here, and again, these 2 supply depots really haven't done that much, able to focus them down because there's so many roaches. Not enough to actually one-shot it, but he will kill them. Again, 200 minerals thrown out the window, and he is going to back out. 1 roach lagging behind to finish off that depot. but again, losing even more resources now. If we do look at the units lost tab, 1,600 for our Terran player, only 1,100 for the little one, and actually making the most hilarious wall-in I think I have ever seen, as these Zerglings are trying to open up this as well. The little one just committing a couple of Zerglings down here, because the more open attack routes you have as a Zerg player, the better, which is why Jimpo is throwing down this crazy wall. This is extremely vulnerable to Banelings should they decide to do that. This siege tank is going to have some fun right here, as these Zerglings are going to die. But Jimpo does have a nice wall in over here, and Jimpo knows that he does not want a surround as much as possible, so going to be walling it in on the left side, and some Zerglings over here. The SCV will spot that, and as I was mentioning, Baneling Bus, these Banelings look like the little one is going to be positioning these. I love the positioning so far of the little one's army. He is spread out everywhere, even a couple of Zerglings over here, preventing really anything from getting out of the main base, except for this one Hellion. He does have 4 kills. Don't know if he's going to be able to do that much, as the one attack upgrade has finished, and apparently 4 Marines just moving out here. They're going to be attempting to take on the entire army of the little one, although a couple Banelings wasted there to actually kill those, so I guess they paid for themselves a little bit. Man, I feel like I'm watching a horror movie for these poor Marines as they move out. So Jimpo in dire straits. Now, I do have to mention, though, that the I kind of mentioned this in a cast recently, but the Terran player, even if they're on 2 base, will always have one extremely terrifying army. And so once Jimpo decides to move out, it's going to be up to the little one to have the right units, which he is opting to get Infestors as well as the Burrow. And this drop flying out all the way across the map. Don't think it's actually going to be able to do anything, though. Oh, there's a vulnerable expansion over here. And the little one, for some reason, actually turning around with all these armies. So a couple drone kills here could happen right now. I'm not sure where actually those roaches were going. I guess the little one didn't follow that medevac, and it looks like the little one, all he lost was forcing a cancel on the extractor and 2 drones, and now he's going to be flying his medevac down here, which is exactly what he needs to do. This is going to give Jimpo the encouragement he needs, a little push and kick out the door, as he is going to allow, or he's going to march out with this scary army. And I do want to mention, the Terran players always get that one scary army that drop, trying to go down right here, but it is going down to all these Zerglings. Even that medevac looks like she's going to die, but Jimpo already focused on moving out. Now he is going to be killing these rocks, and you may be wondering, why are the Terran player going for this expansion over the one down here? And that's simply because the Terran players, especially on this map, get your planetary fortress up. Extremely difficult to destroy as a Zerg player. And not only that, the main attack route to the base is right through this area, and if it's secured by a planetary fortress, it's just like kind of running into a brick wall, and it's difficult to destroy as a Zerg player. So Jimpo playing very wise, and this time Jimpo does have a Raven, which I really like to see, because you can use the Raven to spot all of these creep tumors. I mean, the little one would love to have much more creep on the field right now, but the Raven able to push that back just a little bit. So I'm kind of curious on the army size here. 169 for Jimpo, 160 there for the Zerg player. So Jimpo is actually a little bit ahead. However, the income tab is going to speak volumes about this game. You're never going to be comfortable as a Terran player if the Zerg is mining faster than you, because, of course, the Terran players do get those mules to help speed up their economy a little bit. So that just shows you how late this expansion is going to be for Jimpo, as this expansion has been fully saturated for a couple of minutes here for the little one. And again, the fun fungal growth is on the way, as it's already on the field, and he does have a lot of energy on these units. However, the army is really, really scary right now for Jimpo, although these Banelings look like they're going to be able to blow up these supply depots. Boom, 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 and the SCV is trying to get pulled offline here to repair it, although so many supply depots are going to go down, as well as these SCVs. One siege tank looks like he's in position to do it. This more siege tanks are running down here, although the little one is overcommitting with these roaches just a little bit, as he did lose several of those roaches. Do count as armor, so they take full damage from those siege tanks. However, they were able to kill those supply depots, and an Infestor trying to sneak his way in here just barely gets through there before that wall end is set up completely. So we are going to have one Infestor over here, could potentially throw down some infested Terrans, and you can actually cast that from underground to start killing out these SCVs. It is extremely potent, and that's actually what we're seeing right now. A bunch of infested Terrans being thrown down, forcing these SCVs offline. Jimpo responding extremely quickly, though, as there are more infested Terrans down here, actually getting a fungal growth as well on these retreating SCVs. At the same time, though, it does look like Jimpo moving down into the high-yield expansion of the little one, and he is going to be in range to bombard this location, this high-yield expansion, and he is going to have a solid wall as well over here. And it looks like a Marine drop over here going to be doing a lot of damage. These Marines have raked in a bunch of kills, so Jimpo is attacking on all fronts, and at the same time able to defend. That was a brutal death right there. Although what's more brutal is going to be this hatchery going down, should it go down. This Marine is quite getting the fireworks show here, watching this explode everywhere, and then he dies from those poor broodlings. But it looks like the little one not only lost this expansion, but lost the drones over at this expansion as well. Now the little one finally able to get out his Ultralisk, but is he going to make the same mistake he did last game, where he gets a bad positioning on those Ultras? we are going to have to wait and see, though, as the 2 upgrade is now finished for our Terran player. Not only is it finished for the siege vehicles, it is also for the infantry as well, and these roaches not doing any damage whatsoever. And the infested Terrans are trying their best to do as much damage as possible, just throwing out 1 or 2 infested Terrans at a time as soon as he gets enough energy. So this infested Terran going to be killing as many SCVs as possible, and it doesn't show the kills on individual infested Terrans, but he is going to do as much harassment as possible. So both players playing a very harassment style based and based play here. Oh, Fungal Growth on a big group of Marines. They do have the shields, though, which are going to keep them alive long enough for the siege tanks to do the splash damage. Well, look at this, Fungal Growth and infested Terrans all up on the high ground. So many infested Terrans going to be spawning from those eggs. Is it going to be enough, though? I don't think so. The siege tank's actually able to hold the line, or I don't even really call it a line, hold the ball, as they are just chilling up here on this high ground. So that was pretty epic there. Again, using that fun Fungal Growth. The siege tanks are in the yellow and the red, but Jimpo able to hold that off. So I don't know how he is playing so well. I'm kind of curious the units lost tab here. Yes, the little one definitely the bigger loser in this moment. Although another Fungal Growth, actually that was an Ultralisk eating up all of those units. So a Baneling getting in on the fun as well. So Ultralisk is like, oh yeah, I'm on the high ground now. I can't actually attack anything from up here, but I am looking like a total baller just chilling out. This guy's like, I want to be at the high ground. Unfortunately, I can't be because I'm not the Overlord. So Jimpo, my god, man, he is playing so well this game. A very, very strong player. And it looks like Jimpo is taking some notes at the Little-One playbook, which he is going to try and harass this time with the turrets instead of with the infested Terrans. But it is going to pull the units off the line now, even killing a couple of Zerglings there, as the Ultralisk can't actually get back there, so 1 more turret could be a nuisance, as there are not enough Zerglings to actually deal with that. So we do have the 3 attack now upgrade finished, and 3 attack as well for the Marines, and he is going to be getting out more armor upgrades as well, so he is in pretty good shape. Oh, actually an Overlord drop over here with just a couple of Zerglings. This is going to be a nuisance. Needs to make sure not to pull too many units off the line to deal with this, as 1 or 2 supply depots could go down, and a couple of Zerglings are burrowed here. I can't even tell you how high level of a game this is, because all the players, not only are they attacking multiple locations, they are using micro, like burrowing just a couple of Zerglings here and there, and then continuing to use infested Terrans and all that. The Infestor, though, has been taken out. He is no longer at that location. A Tech Lab going down, so we could see a transition into a lot of Marauders. Jimpo making sure not to get out too many siege tanks, because he will be vulnerable to any potential Broodlords, although we don't see Broodlords on the field quite yet. And trying to drop Banelings down here to kill SCVs. He does kill a handful. Not sure if it's worth it. Jimpo's reaction times are amazing. Every time the Little One is sneaking in a couple of Banelings here and there, Jimpo's reaction is almost immediate. Although what's not immediate is these SCVs getting back to work. So that drop doing a little bit more damage than it should. You always got to keep in mind on if the workers get back to work right away or not, as that is indirect economic damage. And Jimpo's army, though, extremely devastating right now. This army is massive. The Spire on the way. It could be a little bit too late, though. The Little One could be in a lot of trouble right now, as the Terran player is maxed out, soon to be maxed out on upgrades as well on his infantry, and so that's going to be up to Little One to try and deal with, although the pressure is being applied right now. We are seeing a drop over here. Ultra's eating up a lot of SCVs as well as some Banelings, so almost every SCV at this location has been taken out. Mule's trying to be brought in to soften the damage, but the damage has already been dealt. But this expansion is now under attack once again. The Little One still has not expanded down here, and looks like he is going to be doing a counterattack up here, and he could actually kill all these supply depots extremely quickly if he decides to run that Ultralisk up there. However, I don't know if he's going to. The positioning of Jimpo's army is outstanding, as he has secured the center of the map. A medevac going to be dropped down here. He does have a siege tank on the high ground. If he does siege this up, he could do a lot of splash damage to these Baneling. At the same time, though, there is going to be an attack over here. One Spinecrawler getting taken out immediately. So is the Hatchery. So the Little One looks like he is going to be losing both Hatcheries, although the Ultralisk has been dropped up here, killing the reinforcements. Although so many drones are getting taken out, this army in perfect positioning for Jimpo. The Little One is running out of economy here. He did drop an Ultralisk up on the high ground to clean this up, although at the same time these Ultralisks are going unchecked inside the main base, and of course they will do splash damage if these units decide to back up. So Jimpo desperately trying to run over here. He will see that there is no expansion down here, so he knows that the Little One is not going to be mining that much. This has not been upgraded into a greater Spire at all. These Ultralisks again do full damage. They're doing 26 damage to the Ultras. Of course they get that reduced a little bit because of the Ultralisk armor, but a nice transition here into into the Marauders to counteract those Ultras. Here comes the big attack right now. Bailey trying to do as much damage as possible. The Fungal Growth has been used. Is there going to be enough splash damage inside these Ultras? I'm not quite sure. The Marines, though, with their armor upgrade, able to, it looks like, beef that attack, although they uploaded actually inside to these medevacs. Although, yeah, the little one not actually able to kill that. I was wondering where all those Marines went. They all jumped inside those medevacs simultaneously, although the expansion over here has been taken out. The Ultralisk eating up these SCVs as well, so neither player really has an efficient mining base as the little one's expansion is going to be taken out. I actually have no idea who's even going to win this game right now, although I will say 130 supply for Jimpo, only 81 for the little one. So it's going to come down to the army and less down to what expansions remain, because both players really don't have anything left. Unfortunately for Zerg, you do not get High Templars. The little one has no effective way of actually spending this extra gas that he has, although he's using all of his resources to try and get out as many units as possible. This medevac, though, is full of Marines. He needs to make sure to unload those, which is exactly what he's doing. So Jimpo is in good shape. He's flying. It looks like a command center from somewhere. It is going to be his main base to this high yield expansion, which is almost mined out. And the little one, his high yield expansion still has a lot of minerals, so if he can actually defend this, then he can keep himself in the game. Although, unfortunately, he is going to scout up here. Oh, and Ultralisk burrowing. I don't know where he went, guys. He must have just vanished. He definitely is not sitting under us. That is for sure. So one scared Ultralisk is shivering in his little Ultralisk booties. And actually, I think that Jimpo doesn't realize it's actually there. Oh, no, he does. And it's going to scan it. And the Ultralisk just gives up on life. So I don't know what the little one can actually do. There was so much harassment in this game. I just think that Jimpo's army is going to be too powerful with the 3 attack and 2 armor upgrade. I mean, yes, the little one is going to have this hatchery, but as soon as Jimpo pushes out, it is going to be 151 supply to 79 supply. And Jimpo, look at this, pushing out at the perfect time right when this expansion finishes. And it does look like this army will be taken out. Fungal Growth has been used to destroy that army, and so that's actually going to help him out quite a great deal. And the high yield expansion is now secure. However, there's still 30 Marines, 1 siege tank, and the very powerful 17 Marauders, and there's only 3 Infestors. Don't know if that's enough to actually kill off this army, but Jimpo is going to move down here. Needs to be careful not to get Fungal Growth. However, he did get Fungal Growth. It is not going to be enough. These units are running down here to try and kill the Infestors. These Banelings are trying to morph in as quickly as they can. However, they are going to be taken out. These units have been completely split up. The medevacs are completely out of energy, although I don't think it actually matters as the little one is completely desperate for units, and he does actually GG out of that game. So Jimpo able to once again just play that 2-base style and able to push out with that massive amount of siege tanks. And again, a lot of it came down to running the units at really bad locations. So right here, the Ultralisk did get taken out, and the upgrades is really kind of, I gotta hand it to Jimpo. He does get those upgrades really quickly. Not only does he have the 3 attack for the weapons on the Marines, also the 2 armor, and does he have a siege tank anywhere? Oh, he has 1 siege tank. Good luck to me actually finding it. There it is, just chilling out over here. He does have the 3 attack as well. 65 damage versus armored when in that siege mode when fully upgraded. So that is extremely good. Again, I think that Broodlords probably against Jimpo might be the way to actually beat him, because Jimpo opts to, or in the games that we've seen anyways, he tends to get out the siege tanks, which are vulnerable to the Broodlords, but the little one opting to actually go for the Ultralisks, which are a potent choice as well. Apparently it's like raining blood over here. And the Ultralisk, though, getting taken out by the siege tanks effectively. And Jimpo actually has really good transitioning timing into the Marauders as well. So got to hand it to him. He actually beat the little one in the last 2 games. Outstanding play there. Extremely fun to watch. So definitely keep an eye out for Jimpo. He is a top-tier player from Europe. I think he's like top, I can't remember if he's top 5 or top 10 or something like that. But he is extremely good, and would definitely look out for him. So anyways, that's that. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time.